Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. Neighbor Jeff just left. We were doing some visiting. Anyway, I think today I'm not doing anything real serious. Just going to keep putzing a little bit with this hood. The things that bother me is this transition here. Now, let me grab a stick because you guys can't see. So see, that's not straight across right here. All the way down. In fact, down here it's so big I know you guys can see it on the camera. And then here it's almost down in, which tells me the hood is not the same shape as the fender. That's always awesome. And when I come over here, notice, see, that's the same height. Oh, that's not. And once again, high arch. And then here's where in the past material had been added. You can see it. And then here, I mean, that's almost as thick as this. And then that sticks up quite a bit. The other problem, of course, being that line there isn't. So, just more goofing around. I'm still hopeful that I can get it pretty close to fitting before I have to cut anything and move anything and weld anything. Figure wasting a little bit of time playing and learning how the shims and the adjustments affect everything. I think that's still worth doing, but I do know at some point I'm adding material to something and I'm taking material away from something else. I just don't know which. And honestly, at this stage, I don't even know which is the hardest one. At this point, been working a little bit more. You'll note this corner, oh, I took that out of there. Made my life easier. Let's worry about a few variables. We can always modify that. So now this corner's got to come up all the way to about here. And from here, now it's too high. So I think bringing this corner up may actually, if I do it at the hinge, twinge that down. Ignore this gap. It gets really snug right there. I can trim for that. This, now the gap's a little wide, but I think I can center it a little better yet. Notice I'm just a touch low, so just barely right there. And it stays low to about here, so the same point. And now it stays pretty even and then down here. So if I could bring that up just a touch. Here's the only bummer is this gap on this side's a little big. That's not a paint stick. That's a door shim. So let me get the hood up real quick because I can't do it one-handed. All right. So the areas I've been working are this front location here, making tiny, I mean talking 1/16 of an inch type up and down movements there. I also pulled the shims here because remember, if I shim here, it pops that back up. I shimmed them both down. This one still wanted a 1/16 or 32nd, whatever my thinnest one is here. That one seems to be fine. You'll note no shim in the back over there, but also a thin shim over here. So this sits a little lower than that side. So, and maybe when I'm done, I can get rid of the shims because obviously if I don't have to have them, I don't want them. So what I'm going to do next, and you will note there are some shims here because I'm trying to get the hood over that way enough. So I do have a thin shim on both of these. So where I'm probably at is I wonder if I bring this way, I think there's enough room in the hinge for me to do that. So I may be able to go ahead and pop those two, slide these over that little bit. But the other thing is, I think I want to take this one down and that one up a 1/16 to try to get this corner down and that corner up. So let's see. Let's do that before I worry about those shims. So let's just worry about trying to twist this just a little bit more. Okay, so we've still got those shims. We've rotated the front of that one down, the back of this one down, the front down just a touch. And remember, we don't have bumpers, so nothing's going to be forcing the hood. One of the problems, of course, we don't have the ornaments. So we are missing a bit of weight. So sometimes I just come back and make sure the hinge is down. Like this time it went down, no problem. So let me go get my stick here. Now, you'll note, very, very tight here. Reasonable here, a little loose here. So probably a little twisting and skewing I can do there. I'm not too worried about that. All right, let me switch hands. Let me zoom out. Okay, getting more reasonable here. Exactly the gap I want right here. Getting a little tight right here. So that's a little tighter than what we're looking for. I'm looking for one stick. Okay. Now when I come around to this side, let's start in the back. Little wiggly. And then right about here, it starts to get a little better. You can hear it's still a little wiggle. And then this is the first spot where it's what it should be. In fact, that's also what it should be, but that sure isn't. So, still playing. The other thing, and remember, these are two different colors, so it does make it hard, which is why the stick is nice. So I go, those are the same height. Whoop, little high right here, little high, little high. Those are the same height. Oh, little low, and then right here, little low. So if I can bring that up, which I could probably do with a bumper, but maybe a little more twisting. And if I can bring this way, that one also this way. And then I'll just deal with whatever I've got to on this header. And if I can bring this corner down just a touch, because watch this. Nope. Yep. Up, little low. The whole way. So it's just a fraction low here, a little bit high here. And then if that is pushed to be where it needs to be, here. Okay. I'm going to hold you guys steady. I'm going to push. See what happens. This is the fulcrum, obviously. So I may actually have very minimal. I'm probably going to be adding to the front of this one and making some kind of changes over here. Maybe it's cutting a little off of this one. Maybe it's monkeying with this. I don't know yet. Let's get there from here. But it's starting to fit a little. All right, so I've pulled this shim and I've raised this part just ever so slightly. Boy, I gotta be careful. If I raise it even a little bit, this is too high. I'm thinking of moving to the thicker shim there in the hopes that it's gonna kick that over. Let's find out. And then a do what I say, not what I do moment. I made a mistake. I didn't tighten all the bolts down and I slammed the hood shut and now everything's getting wampus. Something slid. So, God, I was getting so close and now suddenly I'm pinching here again, I'm up here again, down over there. I had everything cracked a little bit. I was just going to set the hood down, but it was kind of catching on the striker. So I did that and threw everything off. So let's try this again. Okay, that was a lesson learned. That took a little time. A lot of things moved. That was my own fault. However, I think now it's a little tight here. Here, let me back you out. It's a little tight here. I like the gap right there. It gets a little wide here, but nothing crazy. I think I can work with that. Also, if the other side's pushed, and you can see I'm going to be doing some shaping there. Going to be adding to the front here, it looks like, and probably trying to subtract a little here. But you can see that's really close. Remembering I don't have any bumpers in, which will flex and set the hood. Look at this. Remember, this was a huge, huge gap. Suddenly, that's not anywhere close to as terrible as it was. It does show me, though, that you got to make sure you paint your hardware, apparently. And then I did have to pull this fender in slightly. But the door lined up pretty good. You can see I'm almost there. One more little tweak, I think. But remember, I got to go back and do all that again anyway. So I think we're really a lot closer than we were. I don't think I can really do much more subtracting here. I could probably slide this forward a little. So that may pick up some of that gap. But you can see, because it's wide here, narrow, 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 and then wide again. So the hood, I got a feeling, has material added. So, yeah, and then obviously I'm going to be either adding material here. Well, I might even be able to knock this back a touch. I'll be right back. Let me knock that header around a little. All right, so you'll see I've got that completely flush. And yes, it pinches just a touch there. Also, you'll note, in fact, in a little bit, I'll run a tape because it's a little wishy-washy right here. You can see it's been sanded to change its angle a little, which means it can be sanded to fix it. I actually like the gap right here. It's a little wide here. It's very wide here. This is the area that needs work. Right there. This, it's a little wide. I think we can fill that since that's the side that got filled anyway. Which now makes me think it's because of the aftermarket hood. This back here looks great. Now remember, we haven't put a cowl in, but you know, if we have to monkey on that, we have to monkey on that. That is pretty close to the fender. And let me come over here. See, I know this looks high, but that's because when I was sanding, I sanded this more round than I should have. So when we rebuild this and we resand it, I won't make this quite as round. I'll make that a little more square. So right now, it's an optical illusion that it's you know, just massively up. It's just barely up, so you can see just hitting right there. So, yeah, so a little more adjustment there. This, overall, hair wide, not crazy though, and it comes right down. So, let's come in here to the Pontiac. Now this is a big hood. And you'll see, real pinchy here. Reasonable here. Really like the width there. And a little wider here. Because remember, the paint does do some of the buildup. And a beautiful gap here. Same right here. This gap, pretty nice until here where it pinches off. You'll note, a little raised right there. Oh, I wish I had the Impala down. Okay, you can see this is so tight that it's actually rubbed some paint over time. Little snug. So, we do see this kind of variability. And you can see, if I can keep it at a paint stick's not bad. See? See, that's what that gap looks like when it's got a bunch of wiggle. And this is even more wiggle, but, you know, it's two doors on a car that can flex. And then back here, a little snug, and you can see it. So, that tells me a few things. For starters, I'm getting pretty close on this hood. Boy, at some point I gotta finish these doors and stuff. Oh, bummer. All right, we all remember our friend, the Vice Grip Plumb Bob. So, we stick her on the nose. She's on the nose here. She's on the nose here. Pretty close right here. There we go. Now, okay, let's put her back on the spine here. Well, you can use it as a reference and see. It's pretty straight going up. Literally the area with deviation is right here. And I don't know if I sanded that in or if it was there from the last time someone worked on it. But that is well within what I can make line up. So these two are going to line up. I've got to add a little material here and a little bit of material here. I got to decide where I'm subtracting material here. In fact, it feels like either the header's got to go down a little or the hood up a little. Well, I can adjust the hood up. That's easy. I'll try that in a minute. And you can see I've got this so much closer now. I never realized just how easily you can see through and see stuff. So I got to make sure all my hardware is painted. But this is getting a lot closer. And every time I'm over here, I just see how yucky this work was. But you can see we're really close now. Remembering that this is going to get mud anyway, you know, because it's got those waves in it. I don't think that's going to be too hard to make all that match. So, of course, that's easy for me to say now. Future me is going to be mad. And then, oh, that last change brought that a little close. So I got to make a little tweak here. And maybe that'll help here. Maybe I can bring this side down a little. That would be nice. And you can see she's starting to line up a little bit. You know, the gap's still wider back there than I'd prefer. But boy, that's really hard to do a lot about. Okay, a few more changes later. You'll note that looks pretty good there. That looks pretty good the whole way up. Ever so slightly wide there. I don't think that's too bad. Also, I got one area here, but it's in the arch of the hood. So I'm going to have to get creative in how I'm going to bend that out. I put the stopper in. So you can see I got to actually drop it just a touch. Remember, I can fix that. I must have over sanded this side or something. Okay, I moved this back because I can always alter this front. In fact, you can see it even lips out a little, so I can fix that. That's within my welding ability. And you'll see this is super close now. Little tweaking, but now you'll know. But remember, we were going to add material here anyway. In fact, you can see it's a weird shape right there. Let me show you straight up and down. So, I don't know how well that shows, but it goes in right there. So we're going to have to weld something here, which sucks. I hate to have to do that, but what choice is there? In fact, all the way back to where they started, right here. Because from this point back, it's pretty good. Now, oh, I bet that cowl is going to need all kinds of work. But right now, I'd say the hood almost fits. Literally. That and the fact that I gotta add material. This is getting closer, actually. I don't have to add as much as I was worried about. A little snug here, but like I said, I have a feeling that'll grind right off of that. So, look at that. The hood might actually almost fit. Alright, a few more shims. And I did dig these guys out. They're just loose. You can kind of turn them in and out. In fact, I don't think this one even touches yet. We'll play the Play-Doh game on that. So you can see I've got quite a few shims on this hinge, which tells me there's something fishy with this fender. But we'll just shim it out. It's not my favorite, but if it does the job. This guy is loose, and these are loose, so that it can slide side to side and back and forth. It's not easy, but I mean it can, because we keep having a little interference here. So as we come down, you can see we're really close here. And this is finally, you know, this isn't terrible. Especially since we do have to do some mudding here anyway, because of those wrinkles from when they made it. This, in fact, the high spot here isn't the hood, it is this header. I can feel it right there. Well, you can see it in the work. It's high right here. I could probably knock that in. That might be in my wheelhouse. This, getting so much better. Just right here. And you can see that's pretty thick right there. Don't forget too, this one. also going to get a little bit of mud. So, And then, like I said, the next time the fender's off, I will finish that weld. Plus, I've got a weld down here I got to finish as well in here. And it looks like next time all this trim's out, I'll take this header off and trim this guy back to fit. So, with that, we're starting to get somewhere. I am not looking forward to adding onto this hood. It's going to have to happen, though. I just can't believe that I spent a day twiddling and pushing things around, and now it almost fits. It's a lot better. Of course, don't have a valence on there. I've got a couple shims, and I just put 2 screws in. You can see we'd hit it before, so let's kind of smear that out. And all I used as my reference was this line on both sides, so, well, let's see. Do we just smack into it really bad, or what happens? So, okay, she's closed. Corners are down. I didn't hear anything protest too much. Okay, and remember, she never fit here before anyway, but I could probably tilt that up. That's probably a thing in my control. Remember, there's a seal that goes in there, but there's also some screws, and you could probably get away with some shims. Honestly. Wow. Okay. Hope achieved. Anyway, it is time to go run some chores. Wife's got a few gardening things we got to take care of. So I think I'm going to leave it on a happy note right now. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I don't know how long this video is. I don't get a lot of time to do this stuff, so it's hard to keep track of it. And remember, just because you're watching it today doesn't mean I filmed it today. Sometimes these things are a little out of time. Anyway, thanks for watching us here at ShopDog-Garage. We do appreciate it. Have a good day.